Hey, what's going on everybody? Alex here with Freedom Mowers. Hope you guys are having a good one. I'm going to jump right into it today. We are going to be working on a Troy-Bilt TB110 with the Briggs & Stratton 550EX. This is a very common lawnmower and a very common Briggs & Stratton engine. This is just a standard unit, just a push. No self-propelled, anything like that. But it is a nice machine. It is in very good shape. I believe this is a 2015. So let's see, we are at 7 years on this now. And somebody kept this in garage condition. The gentleman that I got this from, he said that he let this sit and he ended up switching over to electric stuff, and the last time he tried to start it, it did not work for him. It seems to be a common trend here lately with people going electric and getting rid of their gas equipment. But this is a nice little unit, and let's see what we got to do to get this thing cleaned up and going. I think first thing we're going to do is probably pop off the air cleaner on here and put a little two-stroke mix into the carburetor. And actually, well, before that, I did try to pull this and it did not start, and that gas looks a little orange in there, but we'll try to give it a couple pulls without that. We'll put some two-stroke mix most likely down the carb, see if it'll pop off, and if it does, we'll just dive into this carburetor and go from there. Alright, well, before we get too far ahead of ourselves here, let's check out the oil. Which looks really good, and it's almost up to the full mark here. Let me just make sure it does not smell like fuel at all. Normally if it's over full and it's been sitting for a long time, sometimes you'll get gas that'll seep by and get into the crankcase, but that oil looks good, the level looks good. We will check this out. Air filter looks basically brand new on here. So let's just quickly check and make sure. Got a good blade on there and it's secure. Let's go ahead and throw some two-stroke mix down in here. I've got just a little bit in this bottle that I use, and I've got just a little pinhole poked in the top. Goodness gracious. Alright, hopefully that's enough. Well, we know we got carburetor problems. We'll try it. We'll try it one more time. Just to hear the engine run. It sounded good. I don't think I got quite enough fuel down in there. Alright, well, we got ourselves a good runner here. Let me get the tools out real quick and we'll get this carb off. We're going to end up taking off this tank. We'll drain that gas out of here and get the fuel system cleaned up. I think the oil is going to be good. Probably end up just sharpening the blade and just take one more little look over the machine, make sure there's nothing else to be fixed, and wipe it down. But let's get right into it. Alright, well, let's get right into it. We're going to have some 5/16 and some 9/32 screws to take out. And because I want to take this fuel tank off, and this particular model is an auto choke, I kind of want to just take a look underneath of the cover here. So we just got three 5/16 bolts to take out. those three. Cover comes right off. And we'll be able to just slide the fuel tank up. We've got our 2 5/16 here on the side. And then our 2 9/32. I don't mind taking these out with a impact or a drill, but normally going back in, I like to put those in with a 1/4-inch driver, just so I can be safe, because you're going into plastic on this carburetor, and you don't want to strip that out, because then you're gonna have a hard time getting your seals. So next thing, let's go ahead and get our hose clamp back, and see if I can't get something on here to clamp off the fuel flow. Let's go ahead and see if we can't get the fuel line off from there. These machines are always so tight. It's because there's not much fuel hose there, and what is there is usually pretty stiff, so they're a little difficult to get off. Just not a lot of flexibility. I don't want to rip that. Let's just try to get our carburetor farther out first. Actually, let's just take the whole tank up. Now we're not binding as much there. And then we can take our choke rod out, and then our throttle rod. And now we have it all taken out as one unit, and I can just take the fuel hose off from there. And yeah, I'll get that separated. We'll pop this carb open and take a look. Alright, and then now that we got this off, we have 2 more of the, what is this, the 9/32 to take off. And I have another video on taking these apart, so if you guys ever want to check that video out, probably be a little bit more in depth than I'm going to go in today with this. I'm probably just going to check out the jet on here, and let's see what this fuel looks like. I got a bunch of screws in this cup, but just want to see the color more than anything. Yeah, it's just kind of yellow. I didn't really see any water in the bottom, because the water is always going to be heavier. Oh man. I've never seen this before. It looks like somebody's been into this one and like tried to crimp that ball in there. Interesting. Sometimes when you get into these, you'll find out someone else has been in here before too. I think that our jet right here though is totally blocked. I'm gonna get a closer look at it. This one up here looks to be okay. Let's separate this. I'll probably just clean this up, guys, and I'll show y'all, I guess, what I find here pretty much. Curious about that ball. But yeah, I'll clean this up and I'll show you guys when I get done, because I have that other video more in depth on these. Alright guys, well, I didn't find anything too crazy, but that jet was definitely blocked, and it took me a minute to get that cleaned out. I just went ahead and cleaned this a little bit more as well, and some on the inside, and just finished spraying out the bowl and cleaned out the ports in here, as well as the port here and the port here. And I think that's all it was. I don't think there's anything crazy going on here, but someone has definitely been in here before, so we'll just get this put back together. Get this put back together and show you guys what comes out the gas tank. Gonna get as much as I can out of here, and then I will blow some compressed air through here, and just to try to get the last little bit. But I don't see any water in here. I think that there was just a little dirt that had gotten by, or some little piece of debris had gotten caught in there. So I think we're good with that. I'll just get this blown out with compressed air, and let's get everything else mounted up. Alright, well, we got that fuel tank cleaned up. It's just going to be the reverse order putting this back on. We'll just throw the throttle cable back in, and then get the choke arm slid back into place. There we go. Make sure that got your O-ring and your gasket in place there, and that should be pretty much it. I'll get the rest of this bolted up and get the gas tank mounted, and we'll see if this will fire up. Alright, well, I got the box and the tank back in place and connected the fuel line. I haven't put any gas in it yet. I did take a look down in here. I mean, everything looks good. It's super clean. There's no dirt or grime in the fins, on the head, or anything like that. So we'll go ahead and get the top cover put back on, and then we'll throw a splash of gas in here. I'm not going to put too much in here because this thing's going to be sitting for a little while, and I'm going to end up draining it back out. But we'll put enough in there to test it out. And sometimes these actually can be a little bit deceiving, or not deceiving. Sometimes they're a little finicky with having the air filter on, so we'll just make sure we got the filter on and get you guys in place over here so you can see. Fingers crossed this thing starts up. Get the doors open in here. Sweet. That was all it took right there. You guys could hear the RPMs are a little bit low. I will adjust the RPMs on this, and I might make a separate video actually for that, because my amazing wife just got me this for Christmas, which is an authentic Briggs and Stratton tachometer. So this is actually the old style analog with basically the vibrating tip. But anyways, I'll get this pretty much dialed in by ear just for now in this video, and we'll get this thing wiped down. Let's get this blade sharpened, and I'll make a separate one for a tack though. But that's awesome. I'm super excited, and I mean, that was pretty easy. We'll let me just see if it'll crank one more time real quick, and then I'll go ahead and pop that blade off. Sounds great. No surging, and fires right up. Auto choke's working. I'll go ahead and pop the spark plug wire. Get underneath here and pop this blade off real quick. Where are we at? What do we got? 5/8 on that one. Hopefully you guys can still see everything there. Looks like I'm in view. Yes, I do have power tools, but I was just trying to grab whatever's quick. Now, a big old breaker bar here. Combo breaker. Oh man, this thing is super clean, guys. The shaft looks brand new underneath of the blade adapter on here. And you can still see a lot of the original paint on the bottom of this deck. And I mean, there's a little bit of like paint scuff on the edge here, but super clean. And the blade is in pretty much impeccable shape. There's hardly any wear on it. I just wanted to try to clean up the edge a little bit, so I'll just clean that up real quick. We'll pop this back on. I'll get this wiped down, and I'll show you guys the finished product. Alright guys, here's one more look at it, and I gave it a quick wipe down, and I mean quick, because I'm starting to run out of daylight. I didn't want to get out everything to do a thorough cleaning on it, and I know it could use a little refresh in the spring, but you guys can see this mower is in really good shape. Recoil still feels good on here. The keepers are in and tight for the handlebars. Those usually come loose on these machines, and everything looks good. So let's give it a quick little test run one more time, and we'll wrap it up here. Sorry. Sounds really good, guys. So I appreciate y'all checking out the video. You know, a lot of times I'm just trying to keep this stuff from the dump, and you know, people don't necessarily want to pay somebody to fix on a lot of this equipment. People are converting to electric, and sometimes people just don't care. So I enjoy trying to save what I can from the dump and cleaning it up, fixing stuff, and trying to make a little bit of money here come springtime, and really get things going for the small engine repair. So I appreciate you guys checking it out. If you do like this kind of content, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel if you would like, and leave me a comment. I like hearing from you guys, and I'm excited for some upcoming content, and hopefully you guys are too. So appreciate y'all tuning in. I'll see you in the next video.